Hey Boo Kittens, it's me Keisha aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15 reunion part 2. And baby, was it a doozy. So we kick things off with Courtney and Drew going at it. And Courtney says that Ralph was mad that she was projecting onto him the things that she was actually doing. And says that she does believe that Drew was having an affair. Do we care anything about what Courtney and her lockjaw has to say? Absolutely not. Nobody cares, lady. Drew and Courtney arguing back and forth, and Courtney says that Drew single-handedly destroyed her marriage. She single-handedly destroyed her marriage. Like, we ain't even in this girl household, and we done seen that Ralph played a huge part in this based off what we've seen over the last 3 years on this show. Kenya jumps in and was like, that's wrong. That's so evil. And she was like, be quiet. I'm not talking to the peanut gallery. I'm not talking to y'all. So Andy asks Candy what she thinks about this whole situation. And Candy says that Drew told her makeup artist that Ty was her girl crush, as well as Monyetta. So her makeup artist invited Ty to the set when they were filming The Past, and after that, she continued to come. So that's how they met. And I was like, oh. See, we didn't know that. Nobody had told us how they met. So I say you my girl crush. They tell you that I think that you're attractive or whatever. You come on set to meet me, and then they're moving forward. You continue to come every day, and then you want us to believe that ain't nothing going on between y'all. Girl, get your life. Girl, Drew, y'all are scissoring. Just admit it. So Andy asked Sheree and Marlo what they think. And Sheree was like, well, you know, I didn't really want to get into this, but I was dropped off some information yesterday at the chateau. And she says, and it paints a totally different picture than what Drew is saying. And so she pulls out these printouts of text messages allegedly between Drew and Ty. And everybody was like, where did you get this from? And they was like, did Ralph give it to you? And she was like, no, it wasn't Ralph. But then she messes up when she says she doesn't know who dropped it off. If you don't know who dropped it off, then how do you know for a fact that it wasn't Ralph? Sheree, you don't even know how to lie good. It's obvious that it came from Ralph. Get out of here. Get out of here. So Andy looks at the text and he says that it was they're incriminating. Candy and Kenya look at it and was like, this doesn't really seem incriminating to me. But then they saw something that was like, oh, well, But they never read us what was in the text messages. Like, why didn't nobody read it out loud? We wanted to hear what was going on. So that was a waste of time and space. So then they break for a 45-minute lunch. And Sheree backstage telling Marlo that Candy is mad at her, but she had to do it, basically go in on her because every week she talks about her. Sheree, you need to be happy somebody is talking about you, because leaving it up to you, you wouldn't sell not a nail t-shirt. And it's obvious you ain't even selling that. You still ain't even made all your money back from She by Sheree. So girl, get out of here. Like what they say, all publicity is good publicity. Like, so be happy somebody talking about your child. So then here go Marlo dumb self looking at the She Buy news, She Buy whatever. And Marlo was like, on Shein, they selling this dress for $9, but on her website, Candy's selling it for $70. That's how you do business, you nincompoop. You buy it wholesale, and then you hike up the price so you can make back what you spent on it and then make a profit. So it's obvious that if Shein is selling the dress for $9, and that means that they probably bought it for $2, okay? Which means that Candy probably then herself bought it for $2, and now she's selling it for $70, and she's making a $60 profit. Ooh, smart. But Shein is fast fashion. They have millions upon millions of clothing items on their website, so they can get away with selling it for $9. Shut up, Marlo. So the kissing cousins visit each other. Courtney goes to Ralph's dressing room while he getting his Beijing put in on his beard child. And he need to go somewhere and get their head reshaped, because you know how them babies that come out and they got to wear their helmet to get their head shaped right. That's what Ralph need, because that head is literally shaped like a walnut. So she going there, how you doing? And she gives him this sensual hug. At this point, you're not going to make me believe that she ain't the woman from Tampa, because now we just recently found out that Courtney is from Tampa. Like, this is so giving me, is this your mistress that you brought on the show pretending to be your cousin, and then next season we gonna find out that y'all ain't even cousins and now y'all in a relationship? Like, what is going on here? Because that was a real sensual hug. So as they're talking, Allison walks by the room and sees them. So Allison stopped, and Courtney tries to close the door on her, and Allison's like, don't close the door on me. And Courtney's like, somebody come get this business. And Allison was like, but you don't use the word business. You don't use that word. And Courtney was like, I do now. So somebody pulls Allison away. But baby, let me tell you something. If them cameras wasn't on, Allison would have choke slammed Courtney. Allison looked like she don't play no games. Allison looked like she is about that life, honey. She is about that thug thizzle. So it's just Courtney and Ralph. And Courtney says to Ralph, Drew is a manipulator. She is a compulsive liar. And you love her. I get it. But you can't keep allowing someone to disrespect you, Ralph. Oh, Lord Jesus. And he just sitting there like a wounded dog. Yeah, you're right. Like he is just such a weakling. Boy, get out of here with this act that you're trying to portray. Boy, bye. So Sonya says that Kenya didn't reach out to her after she had her miscarriage. But Kenya says that she did, in fact. But old girl didn't answer the phone. When it comes to Kenya having another child, she says she's not going to try to physically do it herself. She's actually going to adopt, which I think is beautiful because, you know, there's so many children that need a home. So a viewer then asked Sonya how she can drag Kenya in one instance, but then asks her to help raise money at her fundraiser. And Sonya says that Kenya does stuff off camera that Kenya does stuff on camera to make herself look good, but off camera, when there's an opportunity to be her friend, she doesn't. Well, I didn't really see her trying to be like all up in your face and trying to be buddy with you or anything. To me, she kept the same energy that she did, that she probably does off camera. We never saw Kenya all up in your face and trying to have lunch with you. And then, you know, that'll be different if she was all up in your face. But she literally dealt with you when she saw you. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, because at this point we see that Sonya is fake. She's fake as I don't know what. It's obvious that you have chosen a side, and that's Marlo and Sheree, and that's fine. But don't try to sit up here and act like you in the middle when it's obvious that you have allegiance to these girls over here. Make it make sense, my love. And you never really hold Marlo and Sheree accountable. You did that one time, but other than that, you always find an excuse for their behavior, but then want to call out everybody else. And for me, Sonya is a user. She uses Kenya and Candy when she needs their popularity to help her out in some type of way. When it comes to Mommy Nation with their photo shoot her first season, when it comes to her charity event and this, that, and the third, like she didn't have to do that for you, but she did it. But once again, you always got something to say. So, she then goes on to talk about her miscarriage and everything, which is so sad, but God, you know, is a good God. is a great God, and now she's pregnant again with another baby. The Candy and Marlo situation comes up with, you know, the nephew and all of that stuff, and Marlo continues to play the victim, and nobody's buying it. Nobody cares. You did it for a storyline, which is even more despicable and disgusting, that you would use your nephew's passing for a storyline on a reality show. That's disgusting behavior for me. So Drew then chimes in to like defend Candy, and Marlo tells her to worry about her marriage, and Drew was like, get a husband and then we'll talk about it. Marlo says, you get a wife. And then Drew say, what you got is a Birkin and some memories, bitch. That right there was a good one. So then Sonya chimes in, and Candy tells her that they shouldn't be arguing over Marlo, because that's what they've been doing all season, is arguing about Marlo. Like, because you always sticking your beak into something that does not belong, that does not have anything to do with you. Like, girl, be quiet. So then Ralph joins, child, and he just literally sitting up there looking so forlorn and so sad. And so it's awkward because Drew is not engaging. And so Drew then says, Andy, can you hand him this, please? Can you give him this, please? And baby, it's a peach. She was like, 'cause that's obvious what he want to be, baby. That was a good one. But it took Candy and them to say, girl, where you getting all these props from? All this fruit. You might as well bought everybody a fruit basket, girl. What's going on? So Ralph says that he's there to make sure that their kids know the truth and not the lies that Drew has been putting out there. Drew says that she protected Ralph and didn't want a lot of their business to get out there on the show. That's why this season, you know, it seemed like they were doing better when really in all actuality they weren't. So Andy asks Ralph, has he been faithful? And he says yes, and that it would have gotten out by now if he hadn't been. Drew says that she's been faithful, but Ralph asks, what about Ty? So Drew was like, you've always chosen other women over me. You quit counseling because Dr. Ken was holding your feet to the fire and holding you accountable. You blocked Dr. Ken. Then you get with Mimi and paint this narrative about me. Then you want to protect the kids. Like, make it make sense. How are you trying to protect the kids when you the one that's putting me on blast and hurting me and putting all this stuff out in the press, is what she's alleging. So Ralph was like, no, your assistant is who told me you were having an affair with Ty, not Mimi. Drew was like, you're lying on him. And then Candy and Kenya was like, no, he definitely told people that. And Drew was like, what assistant? And Candy was like, the guy in your trailer, Danny. Drew, at this point, you need to start making people sign NDAs, because everybody tell your business. Like, what is going on? Are you, once again, not paying folks like charade? Like, why does everybody turn on you once y'all no longer work with each other anymore? She's still in disbelief, not believing that this man told her business. But it's like, girl, you did the same thing when it came to Anthony, and now look at that situation between y'all. So Drew was like, he did not, don't lie on his name. Ralph is the streets. He apologized for talking to Mimi. Do I think that Ralph is the streets with certain things? Yes, I do. I do believe that Ralph is the one putting out these stories. I do believe that he linked up with Mimi. I really, honestly, truly do. So then she hands Andy her phone. He was like, I love that you did that. I love that you did that. Because, of course, he wants to come back at her for something. So Andy reads the text message, and he was like, oh, it's a woman with a big booty saying, are you going to bring me that Disney? So Drew passed the phone to Kenya and Candy, and they're looking at the text message, and Kenya was like, but he didn't respond to the girl. It don't matter if he didn't respond, because why would somebody feel that comfortable to reach out to you and say that? Now, I need to know, was this a DM or was this a text message? Because if somebody was texting him that, How she get your number to send you something like that? Now a DM is something totally different, because you know people is crazy. Drew was like, I really was praying that you were going to come out here and stand by your word and apologize just like you did off camera. I thought that you would do right by me, but you continue to embarrass me. And this is not because of the show. We've been dealing with this since Chicago. I believed her when she made that statement. I really, truly did. So Ralph says that it was a catfish, this girl. And Drew was like, is it a catfish? But I have all these different women in my phone. Like, so all of them catfish? Come on, sir. So Ralph says that he went to Vegas for business and that Drew lied about him auditioning for this Chocolate City stripper show. But Drew was like, Candy, didn't he really go down there for this audition? They then show us footage of Candy in her confessional calling up the showrunner or whatever of this strip show in Vegas. And the guy confirmed that Ralph was really going down there to audition for this show. Ralph showed video footage of when he was in Vegas going there for a conference. He was like, I went down there for business. So it's obvious that he went down there for business, for his job. And he went down there to audition for this strip show. But he got caught in a lie trying to make it seem like Drew was lying. So Drew won that one. And that goes back to him always accusing her of lying and trying to gaslight her and make her look bad. So then Drew accuses Ralph of sending the screenshots of those text messages between her and Ty to Sheree. He acts like he doesn't know what is going on. He was like, what text messages? She was like, really, Ralph? And he was like, where are they? And Sheree was like, right next to you. So then he grabbed them, looking over, inspect, like, you are a horrible actor, sir. A horrible actor. Please stop. So Andy, while eating the plum that Drew threw at Courtney hours before, asked Ralph, is he accusing Drew of being with multiple women? And he says yes. Ralph was like, she brought Ty to my birthday party. Do I believe that do I believe that Drew and Ty are sleeping with each other or dating, whatever? Absolutely 100%. Every time you mention Ty's name, she started grinning. She can't even hide it. Drew was like, you just told me you were getting blowjobs all around the world. And he was like, obviously that was a joke. Child, y'all was arguing and you said that to hurt her. So Andy then brings up what Courtney said on the hot mic. And Ralph was like, there's only 3 reasons why you should adopt someone. And that's abuse, abandonment, and them being unalived. So he says that JoJo's dad wants to be a part of his life. So why would I ever take that from another man? Now, at first, when he made that statement, I was like, those are not the only reasons why you should adopt a child. But then when he expanded on it, I was like, oh, okay. So he's meaning like the only reason why he would ever try to adopt JoJo if his father was abusing him, had literally abandoned him, or had passed on. So I understand where Ralph was coming from in that instance where his father is in his life. He wants to be in his life. So why would I then try to adopt him? I get that. So I don't know why Drew was pressing that subject when the boy's father is trying, because she never negated that he was lying when he made that statement. So Drew was like, I have given you all of my 30s and you have broken my heart every year. Baby, when she said that, I almost wanted to do a praise dance, because I said all the time, y'all, don't let these men or these women take your good years, because you can't get them back. You cannot get them back. And I've been in that position, being with somebody and them breaking my heart year after year after year. And you're just hoping and praying that this person gonna change or get it together. And they don't. They don't. And you should have left a long time ago. And then she goes on to say, you talked about my mama, you talked about my daddy, you banned my sister, you constantly ice me out. Then you go and coach your cousin Courtney. Why would you coach someone you just met to go against your wife on the show? And you think I'm supposed to be okay with that? And Ralph was like, Drew, you're acting right now. And Drew was like, F this, I'm done. And she walks off stage. And I don't blame her, because I really truly believed her in that point. And I was like, okay, I'm back in. I believe that this is real. I believe that it's real. Because, I go back and forth with thinking, like, is this a storyline for them? A well-calculated storyline like Rashida and Kirk? Or is this real? And so now I'm back in it thinking that this is real again. So Drew goes backstage upset, and Allison asks why she didn't tell them about the private investigator. And I was like, what private investigator? Did she get a private investigator, or did Ralph get a private investigator on her? Drew was like, because I don't want all our business out there like that or whatever. Sonya and Monyetta check on her, and it was really nice that Sonya checked up on her. That was really nice. So out there on the stage, Andy asked Ralph, how does it feel to see Drew walk off? And he was like, I always want my wife to be in a good place, and I've supported her. I always uplift her. I always support her. And Andy was like, I don't think it really reads on camera that you're always trying to support her. So Kenya was like, you can't say you support her when she tells you someone called her a biz naive, and you say everyone calls you a biz naive, so get over it. Like, what? Like, as my husband, you just met this chick, your so-called cousin, 5 seconds ago, and you got more loyalty to her than you do your wife, the mother of your children? Okay. Which makes me further believe that Courtney is the lady from Tampa. So, Kenya then compares Ralph to Mark and says that he sided with her enemy because Courtney has all of this ammo against Drew, and it could only come from him. So Drew returns, and Ralph basically disregards everything that Kenya just said because he don't care. So, he tells Drew that he only wants her to be happy or whatever. And when they take another break, he asks her, is she okay? And she's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to pretend like you care. Baby, he then goes to sit back down. I don't know why they still had this man out there on that stage when this girl gets up to perform her song called Threw It Away, Throw It Away, in a trash can, recycle it. I don't know what it was called, child. She sings the song, child, and Ralph just sitting there. Andy sitting next to Kenya. Drew singing the song to him. You're fooling around, fooling. You're fooling around. You're fooling around. You're fooling. You're fooling around. And here go Andy. She's singing the song to him. She's singing a song to him. This is awkward. Like, why would she sing this song to this man? It was so awkward. And again, I'm thinking, oh, this is a storyline, because this is just too much for me to digest. It's just too much for me to digest that this lady is on her singing this heartbreak song to this man. It's so weird. It's so weird. Finally, it was over and I could breathe again. Ralph leaves the stage. And at the end of the episode, Bravo once again promotes Candy's movie, The Past, which they have a stake in. Part 1 and part 2 of this reunion was better than the whole entire season. This was a show, okay? Like, I feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland after watching what I watched last night, child. Like, I'll give part 1 and part 2 of the reunion an A across the board. Overall, I'm going to give season 15, including the reunion of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm going to give it a strong C+. A C+. It was cute, but there is, of course, room for improvement. We know that there's going to be a cast shakeup next season. Can't wait to see what they're going to do about it, because something needs to be done over there in Atlanta. But baby, there was a reunion for that ass. Okay? Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.